Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is in your hood. I am absolutely Adia.
I am the franchise.
And this is the quad.
The quad.
You have no extra little nothing today, huh?
Nah. It's just us.
It's
just us right now.
Hey, it's always a good time.
Always.
So, I don't know how you want to bring this in today.
Gonna have conversations about some current topics that are being swirling around.
Yeah. Well, I want to take the one topic and then kind of break it into little pieces.
Little pieces.
And it's crazy how it went so viral. It was just that one interview, but Ayesha Curry, Stephen Curry's spouse, was on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett Smith. You know, she has a show. It's Jada Pinkett Smith, her daughter Willow, and then the mom.
Right.
And he talked to lots of different people, men, women, whatever.
A lot of people.
I really like it. It's a Facebook thing. Have you seen it? Because I know you don't have.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
How does that work? Because you don't have Facebook.
No, I had to get a Facebook.
Okay.
So I can be an admin on the pages and stuff. So.
Oh, nice.
But I had somebody sent me, a link one time, and I watched it. I was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah, it is. It's dope. They just got renewed for a second season, and I really like it. I always like when we control the narrative. I think it's cool. And Will and Jada have a very unbiased way that they try to look at things and approach things, and it's
open-minded.
Yeah, very. And I mean, people have judged them for that over the years, but I really like it. I think especially when they talk about relationships.
Yeah, they talk about relationships a lot.
Yes, and I think that's one of the reasons why, and they've said it, that they've been able to stay married so long, because they have learned that they have to be really vocal about how they feel, what's going on when they have problems.
Yeah.
And it was kind of weird to me when Ayesha was on the show, because Will did a video months ago about how Jada was saying she wasn't happy. And he initially started out doing all this stuff to try to figure out how to make her happy.
Right.
And realize that happiness is not something that you supposed to get from your spouse.
Yeah,
you have to figure out how to make you happy and complete and whole. And then I make myself happy and complete and whole. And then we come together
happy.
Yeah. and we work together on us.
Yeah.
And that's powerful. And so when I heard her say, she initially, so if you haven't heard it, did you listen to it?
Yeah, I actually listened to it.
Yeah, she was talking about the groupies and women and how it's been overwhelming.
How she reacts to it.
The whole time for years that they've been together.
Because they've been together for a long time.
Like I think high school. Yeah. And then college and, now as adults.
High school sweethearts. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it is. The funny thing about that is that's always... when you talk to kids, like when I talk to my daughter, that's kind of what you want them to see and kind of what you want them to think. Like, are you going to meet this guy and it's going to be great and you just stay with that guy and,
that's the one for you.
Yeah, lock it down and keep it moving. That's why you wind up sounding like Ayesha Curry on Red Table Talk, like you missed the whole phase.
Yeah. That's really what it sounds like. It sounds like.
You missed that single period in your adulthood where you go out and date randoms and talk to a lot of different people and meet a lot of different people and figure out what you like and what you don't like. And you just can be free and get that attention. Yeah. And then you realize that ain't it. And you find the person that you like, right?
You get out of that phase and
y'all
you
get
move
to
on.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's something. Though it's tough for me to, I guess, think about a person like that, because like I'm really big on doing things when it's time to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a little older, so I talk to people who are talking about like the topic of midlife crisis. And my own personal opinion is that when a person who goes through midlife crisis is normally, and I could be wrong, but a person who is trying to recapture something that they should have done. That
they missed out on.
Exactly.
They feel like they missed out on.
A certain time of their life that they missed out on. That's what it looks like to me when I see somebody kind of going through stuff like that. So to me, it's very similar. I mean, this girl really, in her adult life, has never been single. You know, I mean, and not even, you know, you call it a whole phase. I think we just kind of put it out there like that. But just to not be in a relationship. I don't mean
necessarily, when we say whole phase,
right, that's what
term,
I'm saying. Yeah, it's just a term.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, though. Like, she has not even had in her adult life as a single woman, she has never lived her adult life without being in a relationship. So there's clearly a lot of things that she's missed out on.
Right. And I was talking to my friends. We had kind of, you know, a little round table discussion. One of my friends that's divorced now, she kind of went to college and met her college sweetheart, and they locked it down. So she was like, part of me really resonated with her when she said that, because I used to feel like that. And it wasn't until I got divorced and I had to start dating that I was like, dang.
Yeah,
I miss this whole, you know, it's fun to date and meet and, you know, and
non-committed relationships.
Right.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, say in a relationship, there's a lot of there's a lot of pressure that if you're in a relationship, that, you know, like partners put on each other.
Right.
A lot of pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like undue pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because you're the one. You know what I mean? You're the only one. Versus when you're dating, you know, everybody has a different definition of that. But when you're not committed to one individual and you're, you know, spending time with multiple people, that not everybody has the same level of pressure to please you, so to speak. Versus if you're in a monogamous relationship, you're looking at that person to be your everything.
Now, see,
sometimes that's a lot.
So that's what I want to ask you. You're the married one in the room. As a man, do you feel it's your responsibility to make your spouse feel sexy, wanted?
You know, I think that we have a responsibility to do that, but I don't think the ultimate responsibility. It's just like the happiness thing. You know what I mean? Like, when these states of minds are our responsibility. But at the same time, if you're in a relationship with someone, like in my relationship, I feel like there's just certain things as a man that I need to make sure, like certain type of attention, certain type of energy I need to give my spouse, because I need her to know that that's how I see her. You know what I mean? Because if I don't provide that, then she may look to somebody else for that, or may look to others for that.
Here's the thing to me. Of course, we all know everybody wants to feel liked and adored, or value, you know, that they look nice or whatever. It's why we get haircuts and go to beauty salon and dress nice and, you know, work out
and all that.
You know, and keep ourselves up, because we want us to feel like, when you look in the mirror, like, oh, I look good.
Yeah.
But it's so unbelievable to me for her to make that statement, because everybody in the world doesn't know she's his wife. Right. And I'm sure she's gone places or had somebody make a comment or a look or something. Men are, you know, y'all are something else.
Yeah, we are.
And I mean, even I will always talk about being from New Orleans. New Orleans men flirt on a whole nother level. They're super aggressive. And we talked about that before, like coming here to Texas where the men are not very aggressive at all. In New Orleans, child, you could be half decent and they gone, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know what it is.
So I'm sure that she's been in a space where somebody has gave her some type of acknowledgement. I just think the balance is off. Because
she's comparing hers
you can't compare yours to his.
You cannot compare. And that was my thing when I was listening to her. I was like, okay. I mean, clearly she was just talking, and this is not a therapy session, but it kind of, it's like a pseudo therapy session.
Right.
You know, because you get to talking and you forget the cameras are there and you're talking about, and at the end of the day, this is her truth. This is how she feels, and that's that. But again, like you said, you're talking about comparing yourself to your husband. And then the other thing to me is that she does, like, to me, in my opinion, as a man, like, she's a very pretty woman. She's a very pretty beautiful woman. But she's not like the type of woman that I would like go at because she's so sexy and stuff like that. So she doesn't present in that way. So to me, that's part of the reason why she don't get that kind of attention.
I kind of feel that, and then I kind of don't. I know in my personal life, when I had one kid, my pull it together factor was a lot stronger on that getting my sexy right.
Yeah.
2 kids, it'd be like, we going to the, you know, I go to the grocery store and put on heels. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, still trying to shit, 2 kids later, I'll be like, I'm bumming it out.
Yeah,
so, yeah, I definitely feel there's a point. If you out with your kids and you're on the mom vibe, nah, you ain't really,
but
you might not.
What are you expecting?
Right. I think that's a whole, and they have this whole wholesome vibe,
right.
you know. So
and that's what I'm saying. And just not only that, because first of all, she got 3 kids now.
Yeah,
right? She got 3 kids, and okay, so she does some things out, like she's not just Stephen Curry's wife. Okay,
right?
Good
she
for her.
has their cooking.
Yeah, she got the cook. But again, if she, for instance, if she was, you know, like a pole dancer or something like that. You know, like that's a different type of attention.
Yeah, it definitely gives off a different energy.
It's a different energy. And when you talk about like the cooking and stuff like that, I mean, your audience is basically probably moms and wives. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Moms and wives. So you're not even out there in your particular public eye. Your audience is not even men or anything like that that's going to come at you. Like most of your audience is women who are cooking and wives and things like that. So like to me, like that's the reason why, if that's even a true thing,
but
that's the reason why she's not getting that kind of attention.
Well, I mean, you could look at women, like even if you look at like basketball wives. So Shaq's ex-wife, what's her Shawnee,
yeah.
She kind of had the same vibe. Like, I wouldn't look at her and be like, ooh, super sexy, holla at her. She's kind of the same. Like, she's cute.
Yeah.
She's, you know, but she's not like, oh, super hollerable.
Yeah.
But then you have somebody like Evelyn that's super sexy. Her vibe is definitely, she gives that off.
Yeah.
So I think, if you're going by, you know, that type of person, but even still, it's a lot of men that like that good, wholesome, good girl,
the girl
type
next
of,
door type of thing. But you ain't gonna have a majority of men that's gonna holler at, you know what I'm saying, the girl next door. They hollering at somebody who is appealing to them in that kind of way.
They feel like they got
that's the kind of energy they got, you know. But then, and also at the same time, I think when you think about, you know, the situation with her husband being the guy, you know what I'm saying, she's in the public eye because of him, you know. So I don't know how many guys, it's a little different. Like I don't know how many say, if you have a woman who's, I'm trying to think of somebody who's really popular and who's married, like a woman who's really popular who's married,
like Oprah and Stedman.
Okay, so take Oprah and Stedman,
right?
You know, even in a situation like that, you know, Stedman is probably still gonna get certain women who are gonna be coming at him,
right?
You know what I mean? But in a reverse role, like, and maybe this is just my perspective as a man, in a reverse role like that, you know, I don't think that Stephen Curry's wife is going to ever be the one that anybody is going to be like going at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Just doesn't seem that way. And then just like you were saying, the whole vibe with the family. I mean, you know, they got, I mean, they all integrated. They got Austin Rivers. I mean, Doc Rivers' wife is had a baby with the other brother, and you know, and then, you know, somebody's married to another basketball player. I think their sister's married to another you know, so they present as the fucking the good old family of the NBA type. You know what I mean? So if she was out there like Kim K or something like that, with her sisters all the time or in the clubs,
I'm telling you, living their best thought life.
It'd be a different situation.
And it sounds like that's what she wants to do.
It sounds like that's a degree of what she want to do.
It's okay.
I ain't mad at it. I ain't mad
if you
want
to go get dressed up, go out with your homegirls,
go do that
do
shit.
your thing.
Go to the beach, take some pics.
Do that, but don't get in. This is the other thing that really irritated me, and I don't know if this is just my masculine side. It's so disrespectful to not just him, but their public persona, because y'all have gone, and it, especially in basketball, to have a man that plays basketball, because we know basketball players are notorious for being hoes, big hoes, big ho-hos.
Ho-hos.
And you have a man that's at the height of his career, that's one of the best players.
One of the best.
No scandals.
Best team, no nothing. Good
no
guy.
drama.
Good guy.
Good personality.
Nice guy.
Smart guy. Cool guy.
The consummate professional.
And here your ass go.
I want some attention from another man. He don't give me no. I mean, only attention I get is from my husband.
It's like,
did you just say that?
What? And then for him, did you see his response?
I didn't see it. I didn't even want to watch it. What did he say?
Well, he had just put out a statement, and I was like, who the fuck is their publicist? Because his statement basically, in a nutshell, said he was proud of his wife for speaking her mind and having the courage to be on Red Table Talk. And he just can't believe the backlash of people that have attacked her for her opinion. And I was like, wait. Your wife get on TV and say, she ain't getting no attention.
Except from you. And
you say it's our fault? Like what? We the problem?
Yeah. We defending you. We backlashing her. The backlash towards her is in defense of you.
It's in defense of you.
Yeah. Well,
I was like,
you know, but you know, it's a tough position to be in because you can't not respond. Right. You gotta respond.
You gotta respond, and then. So I saw people were going to the game with all kind of posters. Somebody had put his wife on the picture with James Harden. Yeah, James Harden. I was just like, see, this is the dumb shit you started.
And this is what you drew in. This is what you drew in. I'm glad they won last night.
Yeah, if they don't win.
Yeah, I know.
How does that go in the household?
She was a distraction.
It's going to be.
Because I know moms was like, yo, we didn't talk about this. Shut the fuck up. You know, moms be like, I've been in this game for 30 years, girl. You talk to me before you talk in public like this.
And that's the other thing. If I ever felt like I want to know I still got it, that's a conversation that I have with my best friend.
Right.
Or myself and Jesus or something.
Or out at the club.
Right.
Let me go to the club and see if I got it.
Put on that freakum dress and, you know, right. You don't get on TV and say... That's how you feel.
Again, and this is what I'm saying. Okay, hear me clearly. Listen, that's her truth. Everybody has their own truth and things like that. I get that, and I support that 100%. That's how she feels. Now, what I don't agree with is I'm a private person, number one, but I understand that, you know, anybody that I'm in a relationship with is their own individual. I just think that when you're in that kind of spotlight, you gotta be a little bit more strategic in the things that you say.
Have to be.
Because this man, now I don't know when they record this stuff or nothing like that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, right now, this man is in the playoffs.
Right.
He needs to be focused. Yeah, he needs to be focused on his job, what he's doing for his team. They trying to win another championship. You're gonna be at the games, and now you bringing in a whole nother.
And you know how players talk shit on the court. I was just like.
I'm
you
like,
don't
yeah,
know
where your wife
what
at?
they saying.
Where your wife at? I'm gonna give her some attention.
Right.
I'm gonna give her some attention.
Right. I was just riding thinking like, you don't know how this shit is.
But you know what? And then I was like, cause see, then you know we watch stuff like this, and of course we doing it for purposes of having a discussion.
Right.
But then I start to, you know, I kind of go judgmental just a little bit. Because I watched the whole thing and I was like, damn, they tripping off of these 35 seconds of her comments.
Right.
But then she kept going and they was asking her about, well, he seems like such a nice guy and he's laid back. Does he ever have a temper? And she's like, no, he doesn't have a temper. He's always laid back and I can't stand it. I'm like, bitch, what do you
want him to grab you by your neck?
I mean, come on now.
You know what's funny about that? My significant other is the same way. He's very laid back. And he thinks everything is a joke. He's very lighthearted, good personality. Yeah. And it starts to irritate me when I'm upset about something and I want him to, But with the growth, I understand that it don't always have to be that way.
Right.
Everybody's not going to feel how you feel. Everybody deal with stuff differently.
Everybody does.
And I called him about something earlier today. And I'm an overthinker. We all know that. He knows that. He's very good at bringing me, talking me off the ledge.
Come on.
I'll be like, I called him and I was like, hey, listen to this. And so I told him, he was like, okay, that don't really sound, what's the problem? I was like, I don't know. He was like, oh, so you just overthinking it. You just going to keep thinking until you find a problem. He was like, all right, let's go through it. Let's find a problem. And the more, when he says it, I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready to move on now.
But in my mind, you know, to me it was like, I don't know. I had been thinking for like 20 minutes and I was just like, I don't know what I should do. And he was kind of like, Dia, where's the problem? Right, what? Right. Yes, it's good. Okay. You good. Like what? So
let it go.
That's a good thing. And I heard her say that too. And I was just like, it just feels like that made me go back to the whole phase. Like, you just really haven't experienced enough relationships and dating.
The variety of different types of. Well, that's the thing, though, and I always say that when I'm talking to young people, who are, people, look up to here, what you got? Okay, slow down. So what you need to do is make sure that you have, because the only way you're gonna know what you want is when you come across something you don't want. Exactly. You have to. That's the only intel you're gonna have. Is if you deal with a bunch of folks, you be like, oh, okay, yeah, this is cool.
Yeah.
Check marks here, X's here, check marks here. But if you just in a situation where you only dealing with one person for all that time, then that's all you're gonna know,
right?
And then you're gonna be in a position where you want a red table talking about he get on your nerves because he don't get mad. Like, come on now.
I saw a lot of wives on my timeline very upset with the world because they just felt like what she said resonated with them, and women flirt with their husbands and they feel this way. That happens whether you're married or not.
It don't matter.
I've dated people. The waitress at the we were out. Chick act like I ain't even there. I'm like,
I'm right here.
For real? You just want get on the table, get on, what you that's how you feel. So I mean, if you've dated anybody remotely handsome, attractive, charismatic, they don't even have to be that cute. They gotta be
handsome. They might just be the type that they dig.
Right. You've been in weird situations before or whatever. I take it as a compliment if people think, they always say nobody wants to date somebody that nobody else wants or whatever.
That's true.
So,
men and women.
Right.
Yeah.
I want my dude to look good, be
able to pull.
Nice, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing, and that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think that, depending on the type of person that you are, that could be an issue. Now, what she has to deal with clearly is very extreme. I mean, she's got an NBA player who's a nice guy, he's a handsome guy. So I mean, women and who deal with athletes and entertainers, like I know that it's like a daily thing. It's a
whole other world.
Yeah, it's a whole other situation. And I've never experienced it, but I can only imagine.
Being with a royal, it's a lot. It is a lot.
It's every day.
And the story that she told about the girl in the car that tried to take the picture, whatever, in the car.
Yeah.
And she was like, the chick told her, oh, well, you know what you signed up for.
Right.
And she was like, what? No, you kind of do. Like, I understand that that's who you have been with forever. So the transition was just kind of like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But, excuse me, at the same time, you had the option to say, nah.
Yeah. And I'm sure mom's had conversations with her about that. She's been, now granted, Del Curry wasn't a superstar like his son is.
Right.
But he's been in the league. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the league traveling.
Child,
NBA,
they don't care. I know people that have fighting over dudes on the practice team.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right.
So I'm sure there was some conversations like, yo, listen, we're seeing what's happening with our son, just his popularity and all that.
Right.
Let me pull you to the side and let you know what this is. Like, I'm sure it wasn't a total shock. I'm sure mom's did her thing
now,
to ease her into it.
I will say women these days do go above and beyond.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's always been women that have gone out of the way that do stuff that you're like, what?
Like, for real?
And it's always, so they had a video, Kodak Black posted a video of himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was out with some chick that he's dating. They were like walking to the beach. Some random chick was passing. She was like, oh my God, is that Kodak Black?
Yeah.
He was like, nah. He tried to keep walking.
Yeah.
And she walked up and just hugged him. Just like, oh my God, I love you so much. Oh my God, I can't believe it's you. Oh my God, da-da. Hugged him again, like kissed him. And then she was like, I'm sorry, I know you're probably on a date or something with this girl, and kind of like did that to her, turned back around to him. And it's like, it happens. It happens.
And if it happens every day, as much as it does with somebody, like I understand the frustration that can build from that.
Of course.
I understand.
And this is why I say it's an option. If you have to figure out ways to kind of not even just be okay with it, but make your peace with it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to
make your peace with it. Like,
and keep it moving.
Yeah. Well, that one thing that they did say was that they don't travel with their husbands.
Right.
And that's probably part of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just be, exposed to this like
it's
all
a lot.
the time.
It's too much.
I can only imagine. And I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? So if the situation was reversed, even though men don't necessarily move like that, But if the situation was reversed and men were moving like that, that would be very frustrating.
Some men, child. I mean,
you know,
dudes can be real disrespectful.
Oh, no question.
You know, you be out, they sending you drinks, and I mean, you know, some guys
I've heard
can be really aggressive.
I've heard.
Just depends on the man.
Yeah.
I went out. I'll never forget. It was my 21st birthday. My mom and my friends threw me like a little surprise party. And the guy that I was dating, super square. Like, we knew each other from elementary school, whatever. He was running for some type of public office now.
Some type of office.
But
he's a politician.
Yeah. That
Smart
was his
type.
thing in college. Yeah. And that was one of the things, like, he liked me because I was from the hood. He had never been like in a project.
Experience.
Yeah. And so they threw me a little house party. And I didn't stay too far from this club, and so they were like, let's go to the club. Club is in the hood. We get in the club, and you know New Orleans, we like do the pin the money on you thing for your birthday or whatever. So we in the club.
They do that in other places too.
And, oh, really? I didn't know. I know we do that or whatever. And hood nigga walks up to me like drug dealer some shit, dope boy. And, like, it's talking to me like, oh, it's your birthday, da-da-da. Let me buy you a drink. Let me buy you a bottle. I was like, I appreciate you, but I'm with my dude. It's my dude right there.
Good looking.
He turns around.
Oh, no. What'd he say?
To him, and he, like, looks him up and down like a once over. He was like, this your man?
Yeah.
Man, call me when you want a real N-word.
Yeah.
So.
This is an explicit podcast, by the way.
It just kind of walks away. He kind of laughed and walked away.
Yeah.
Dude is like looking at me kind of shook. He didn't know what to do, what to say. He's scared of shit, right?
Right.
And in that moment, I was mad. Because I was like, you wasn't going.
Right, yeah.
You ain't going to say nothing?
Yeah.
You just kind of.
See, now that's the other thing that they were talking about on that show, though. They were talking about how in those situations, they would prefer that the men, like when a woman is getting a groupie's getting a little bit too extra,
right?
They would prefer that the men step up and do whatever. And I get that. It's just that I think that it's different for us because we don't see the same thing y'all see. Like if I'm a dude and the chick is kind of I'm saying in situations sometimes it's obvious.
Okay.
No, situations sometimes it's obvious and it's like obviously you're disrespecting the situation. But then sometimes it's not necessarily obvious to us, but as a woman seeing another woman and how she's moving, you can see, exactly what she's doing. Right. So then y'all feel like I need to step in because I need her to know that I see what she's doing and I'm about to squash all that. But we don't necessarily see the same thing all the time.
So you have your books. So if you're out with your wife somewhere and a woman comes up to you and she's talking to you about books, and in your mind, it's a conversation about books.
Right.
But I'm looking at her. She kind of flipping her hair and
all of that shit that we don't really pay attention to. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
okay, I can see that.
And then y'all let us know because I'll be like, oh, baby, we were just talking about, a new book. But then you explain and see it from that perspective. And I'm like, oh, baby, I didn't even see that.
The weird thing about that to me is I've been in a situation like that when I was doing PR and with Zuri's dad before Zuri was an entity. I used to go out and we would go to these different like open mic nights, talent nights, meet with different artists and stuff like that, and just meet people. And he always felt a way because he was like, all these dudes, they be talking to you, dudes be flirting with you, they in your face, whatever.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but I got you with me. Like, I brought you so they could see you and know we together.
Right.
This is my man. I'm not single. I'm not here by myself.
Right.
And to me, I thought I was doing a good thing. It annoyed him because he just felt like, yeah, I'm here, but that don't stop people from proverbially, I guess, shooting a shot or just kind of putting themselves in the space.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I think I agree, but I think that also, those conversations need to be had, and you have to have it on your mind. You have to be like aware, like as a man, like if you have these issues, like if you're a woman and we're together and you have these issues about when we go out and how women treat or behave around me, we need to have a conversation, because I won't be thinking about it the same way you are. Mm-hmm. But if we have a conversation first or prior to, and then we go in those spaces, I'll be more aware of those things, so I'll know how to act accordingly. You know what I'm saying? So that's it really comes down to that communication. Hey, I need the lens, because I ain't gonna be thinking like you think.
That's a good point to end on.
Yeah.
Because communication, has she communicated this to him, I'm sure he would have told her not to say that shit.
Yeah, well, this is just for advice, for relationship advice. You know, this is just me personally. I don't like what I call secondhand information. So if
my mama used to tell me.
Tell me. Don't tell the red table talk.
Second.
If you told millions of people
before you tell me, I used to get in trouble for secondhand information, so I know all about that.
You know, let me know something.
She want to know first.
Yeah, you told the whole world that you like attention from other dudes or whatever. Yeah. Tell me, girl. I'm your husband. Maybe we could go out and I could, I'll be telling me, go on dance, go on, let me see what you're working with. Go on, if that's
Boom. If that make you go out good, tonight, right?
If that make you feel good, let's work it out in a controlled environment.
Boop, keyword.
You know what I'm saying? Well, I think that was a great discussion, though.
Yeah.
And I say this too. I know we're about to close, but because the clearly the word that was swirling around with this whole situation was insecurity, right? So I will say this: that is it possible for a person that's not insecure to have an insecure moment? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So just be aware of that. Just because somebody has an insecure moment, that doesn't mean that they're an insecure person. You know?
I agree.
Yeah. So she might have that's her insecure
some kind
moment.
of light skin entitlement in there.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation. But you're right.
Nobody called me pretty today.
They all beige. they all beige,
girl.
Though,
so. Beige feelings be leaking out.
You know?
I said that my daughter was like, "Hey," I was like, "It's true, love.
That's that
it's
beigeness.
True. It's true. I deal with you every day."
I can see a gang of beige dudes around a red table talk about the same thing. No disrespect.
Ooh, this is absolutely Adia.
It's the franchise. I'm in the building.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be good. It's the quiet.